IoT, which stands for Internet of Things, is a system of interrelated computing devices, including mechanical and digital machines, which allows for data to be transferred over a network system. This means it requires no human-to-human or human-to-computer interaction. This technology works by collecting, sending, and acting on data that they acquire from their environment. Sometimes the devices communicate with other related devices and act on the information they get from one another. An example of IoT includes Nest Smart Home, which allows users to monitor the thermostat of their home, among other things, right from their mobile phone. The Kisi Smart Lock is similar, as it allows people to lock their doors from the touch of a button. South Korea's internet speeds are already among the fastest in the world, but they just introduced a new network with Samsung Electronics and SK Telecom, which is going to help improve connectivity nationwide. The network, called the LoRaWAN, which stands for Long Range Wide Area Network, is designed for internet connection, battery-operated objects. It's cheaper and more power efficient than Wi-Fi, cellular networks, or Bluetooth. South Korea is going to be the first country where the IoT network will be available countrywide, while the city of Amsterdam introduced the network last year. IoT is not limited to one domain. It is transversive, individual devices to connected physical body, like wearable devices like a watch, car, home, city, industries, and healthcare. 73% of education institutions are currently or planning to use IoT devices as part of business planning. Some examples of IoT devices include smart TV, tablet computer, touchscreen table, smart podium, virtual simulator, entertaining applications, smart IoT pen, and more. Some ways IoT devices are utilized is, for example, in science, especially chemistry labs. Smart refrigerators can be useful in the storage of chemicals. Depending on the chemical, the refrigerator knows the precautions, proper temperature, humidity, etc. Entertaining applications with smart pens for alphabet practice can make writing class more fun and less wasteful in terms of paper waste. Technology provides us with a lot of benefits, but there are many issues at the same time. The growth in the availability of affordable computing technology has caused a number of major shifts in the way that society operates. There are, however, some less positive social issues generated as a direct result of technological advances. First is communication breakdown. For example, you could see people who are out at dinner and still staring into their smartphones rather than talking to one another. Fraud is another spurious activity that has been able to evolve in the wake of easily accessible computers and the internet. Perhaps most problematic and prevalent of the various fraudulent activities is identity theft, in which personal details of innocent people are harvested by a third party so that they can be used for malicious purposes. This leads to privacy issues. Nowadays, identity theft has caused people to become more careful about how they use their personal info. If you post something online, say on Instagram or Facebook, it is public to everyone unless you make the post private. Employers are now combing Facebook and Twitter to effectively do background checks on potential employees. As we talked about the digital divide in the class, the technology is dividing a world and the gap is getting larger every day, not only in education but also on almost everything. Only a few countries are living with high technologies around them. For example, we make a phone call through the AI speaker, Amazon Echo, or Siri, but on the other hand, there are people who don't know what a smartphone is. As technology is getting better, this gap is getting larger. If this continues, one day people will live in two different worlds. For example, in South Korea, 94% of people have smartphones. Only 6% use a mobile phone but not a smartphone. But in Brazil, 54% use a smartphone, 32% mobile, and 14% don't have a phone at all. Throughout the year, we have been focusing on what causes the digital divide between countries. Like the previous connection stated, technology is dividing the world, and the gap is getting larger every day. While people with access to technology are constantly getting new opportunities as to how technology can make their lives easier, people without access to technology are getting further and further away. Some people do not even have access to a phone to call a friend, while others are able to use their phones to adjust the temperature of their home thermostat while they are away. In addition, these technological advances put people with access to technology at a greater risk. A huge story in the recent news was that the Amazon Echo, or Alexa, was constantly listening in on conversations, even when not prompted to. With everything being connected to your phone, hackers can easily have access to your entire life with one click of a button. Overall, this sort of technology is dangerous for us in many ways. Not only does it separate humankind even more so in the sense of the digital divide, but it puts many people at risk if they're not careful with their privacy.